Hello, everybody. This is Hambbage, and we're gonna play some more hardcore vanilla Minecraft. Are you ready? This should be an epic episode, and I'm so glad you've joined us for it. Today, we try to find our way back through the Nether. We didn't go too terribly far, and I think we're pretty well set. And then it's time to TCB. We're gonna take down a dragon, barring any unforeseen disasters. Stay home and play games. We're definitely doing that. Although today I'm not really going to. It's still fairly early in the morning. I've been up for a little bit. Maybe not long enough. We'll see. Stuck my head outside. It's beautiful out right now. Great little sunrise morning. I'm gonna go out and kind of enjoy the midday with my friends. It's supposed to get a little bit nasty here this afternoon. We got some rain and storms and stuff coming in, and rather than finding that, I'm gonna try to possibly get together. I don't know exactly what time, but it may clip in on us here just a bit, and there may be a brief pause if I have to respawn. I've kind of got the silenced phone next to me here to give me the heads up on any texts or calls that do come in. And if we have to just take a brief break, I apologize in advance, but wanted to give you guys a heads up. Hopefully that will not come at the heart of a dragon fight. And if it does, then I'll just have to get back to it. That's not something we're gonna clip right in the middle of. So as I'd said, just since we're here and overlooking, and this is frankly a good way to kind of get back into the swing of the game. Take down a couple of these guys. I'm just gathering up these. We're not going to go pressing our exploration too much further. But kind of multifold. We've resigned ourselves to the fact we don't need a gas tier to have success against the dragon. It'd be nice, and it would be good. We need one eventually. We've got to have that potion effect as well to get the potions, and eventually, whether we use it from a beacon or anything else, but we need restoration for how did we get here. So, two parallel needs. As I said, we're not going to go exploring, and then here I go exploring. You know how that goes. Yeah, so got a fresh cup of coffee here. Just made. I actually just scalded my mouth on it a little bit. Like, okay, I better have a sip. Hot. So that was right before I came online. Happy to report, man, oh man. And granted again, I had a vaccine. I wasn't sick, but everybody knows that feeling, I think, from where you've been sick for a little while. And it can be just a cold or really, like when you have a longer flu or something like that. And it's been so long, you kind of, when you're sick, you go through those phases where there's the fevery time when, whether it's real or not, you kind of feel like, oh my God, I might actually die. Your body's like, hey, by the way, I know life in the 21st century is relatively cushy. You're not usually confronting starvation. There have been 0 times where you've been bit by a large mammal while you were trying to hunt it for food. Again, apologies, I'm not making light of some of the real issues in the world, but primarily for any of us in first and even second world countries, aside from war zones and truly third world type countries, which again are, most are at this point in those positions due to political or other sources of strife rather than just from economic stuff. Even the impoverished third world has had more opportunities as we become global. And yeah, I'm not saying that it's not exploitive for some of those countries, but there are more industries available as light manufacturing. Some of those kind of things have become jobs that don't tend to get done as much in the Western quote world. And I don't know. I'm no expert on China or their no expert, but I've certainly read. I wouldn't claim to know the full intricacies of either the Chinese or even the Japanese. Japanese certainly was much more based on you are ready to just be a jerk. I know it. I know when they lurk like that it's just a matter of time before a pigman comes walking right into your life, all intent on becoming troublesome. Okay, here's our little stairway. And again, sometimes, unless you really get lost, it's, oh, wow, we were a lot closer than we thought we were. Let's maybe bridge over here just as a last. We'll dangle ourselves as bait to the ghasts. See if by building up this little bridge between these two, we'll make ourselves an appealing target. And this is clearly where bad things could happen. We have feather falling 4, so we're as ready as we can be, but it's not saying a whole lot, frankly. Yeah, but sorry, I didn't finish my thought there, and I realize I'm pretty bad. I can kind of lead into topics and then wander away from them, and they may seem pretty cliffhangery when I go back and go, oh, yeah, I never got around to that. I know Western European economies. United States, Canada, and even to some extent, I think Mexico and North America, and then Western Europe, and I think even China and Japan have largely moved away from a lot of direct manufacturing, have moved more into data, technology, and those kinds of industries. And it's the label names. So China's kind of a mixed bag, right? They do still maintain a lot of manufactured direct, but a lot of those have been moved to what would more traditionally have been considered. We'll leave one. Why not? Countries in the third world, Taiwan, Indonesia, Thailand, and then some of the the countries that are former or still affiliated territories of the various former you know, kind of Cold War superpowers. Hey! Sword guy's much more dangerous than bow guys. All right, so we completed that little bit. Let's head home. We're pretty full on our inventory. We didn't worry too much about the ender chest. That's okay. Oh yeah, I saw this guy. Now, these guys are kind of like little kids. They, oh, come on. Oh. Oh. Look at that. All we had to do was come back to the end. Did I get it? Oh. Never always when you're picking up your stuff, forget to grab the tier. Alright, so we got a tier. Perfect. Woohoo! Mission accomplished. Just like that. And again, I was kind of extolling it so much in the last video. I haven't. Hey, how's it going, roommate? I haven't really talked about it too much in this one, but don't underestimate. Oh, this is a disaster. Let's go here. Nope. Here. Basalt. We got a box for that. Get just a couple of these spots freed up. Some more of that we can use underwater if we need it. And where did our sands go? Perfect. Just enough to get us squared away. So we'll put a few brown mushrooms in there. We'll use those later. I'm not worried about them right now. We can put the magma cream away in there. We need 2 more water bottles and a single nether wart. Load these up and get that started. Now we can go over and this will be a bit of a juggle. Let's let it swap and then we'll run upstairs. I'd like to just get another chest, I think. Alright, so we'll start the regen. One other chest that I do want to have is a fortune materials chest down here, right? We're not going to break those up in the overworld anymore. So we're not too worried there. But what we would like to do is be able to dump off any of the goods that we do get. Now, does anything... Let's get our pick. Kind of double up as much as possible on any of that XP. After we went to all the trouble of cooking it up, so a little bit of recovery. Chests. Let's make 2. 1, 2. Let's save the gravel. Okay, let's go back down and get this done. How do I still have netherrack? Honestly. So because my gear is pretty well set, I'm not going to use the fortune axe to clear this inventory out. Instead, I'm just going to save it for a time that I need it. We'll we'll probably need to do some repairing when we get back from the end. Alright, this should be good. Let's get a redstone. Extend it. That's a regen potion, and this will get us like a minute and a half of regen, where you won't get quite as much as frequently, but will continue to just, without eating or anything, as you know, as you're there, it's as if you've just eaten food when you've got damage, and it gives you those first few hearts kind of back to back to back to back. That's the regeneration effect. I didn't even say good morning. I know we played so much and we talked so much yesterday. Salty, big day. We're fighting a dragon. You're not coming. Guava, what's up, buddy? If anything doesn't come back, you're in charge of telling S'more and Salty. S'more is much more a cat of action. He's the one that constantly stays out to engage the trouble. Alright, so now it's time to begin kind of our prep. We can leave the fortune axe here at home in its box. Now that we're going to be established, we won't need a whole lot else. Because we've got our portal, we've now slept at home, so we've effectively set our bed, and it's not going to move, so we can just go over whenever we want. But we're just going to kind of save things up here for just a moment. We'll want as we said, we'll want a bunch of cobblestone, but we want to get our potions set up first. So, a minute and a half of regen. Those are good potions to have. They're kind of the savior bacon. We want 6 of the slow falling. Now that should be more than enough to get us through the dragon fight and have at least one left for dealing with a specific advancement in the end. And since we haven't even loaded that tab, I don't think we've really even talked about it. May have mentioned it in passing as it applies to the how did we get here advancement. It's another sub one, but yeah. So with regen, lots of slow fall, and strength. Strength is going to improve the power of our arrows and our sword attacks. So kind of nice double bonus there. It should give us all the spacing. I don't know. I don't know that we had any more just empty bottles, but that's okay. We're gonna take at least 2 potions right when we arrive. Probably when we cross onto the island, kind of begin to start taking down the dragon. We're gonna take a slow fall right away, and then we'll pretty quickly get to a strength as well. So when we've got those going, okay, this should be enough. No, it's not. That's enough to get us switched here. Okay, apples. Just want to top off. Alright, our goal is achieved in terms of we wanted to have a full stack of apples ready to go. And we've accomplished that. And we've still got a block of gold in reserve. Not to mention everything that's still continuing to cook. Okay, we don't need regular apples. whatsoever. They're good. Excuse me, 1 second. All right. We've loaded most oh, we need more torches. Just do that many as extra. That's kind of perfect. And why not carry an extra batch? All right, we do not need the coal. We do need any more stone. All right. Let's walk through this. We jump through the portal. We appear. We'll need not regen, although we want to. Oh man, we got to slow falling at the ready. I'm gonna shift these just a bit. Strength and regen, strength and slow falling, ready to go out the gate. We won't need torches immediately either. They're kind of good. So we'll put our emergency regen down this way. If needed, it's there. When we land and take our slow falling, we'll get an empty bottle, and from there, everything that we drink will create more empty bottles. So we'll actually want to keep one of those for a bit to get a special item that the dragon produces as it goes, and hopefully by the time we get to that point, we'll have had a couple. We will not want the big crafting. We want to be able to see our effects and the time that they have left if we check. We don't really need these two tools in the fight at all, but I'm going to keep them. You know, obviously we've got so much cobble. This is plenty to get us moved in to the island and ready to go. Oh, and then we'll once we get going. In fact, let's shift there. If we get into trouble, you know, somehow get knocked off, Pearl may save our lives. And we certainly want that full opportunity. And we don't want our other pick. Alright, these are all our silks, so they're all good to go. We got a full stack of arrows. I mean, that could be a limiter. Do we want to just grab one more stack long term? What amounts to a stack? We got 10. We have more downstairs though, right? I think we can move some out of the way. I don't want to have to grow more arrows. So, as we're real close now, we're about to start making our head over run. Again, these should kind of go in the end chest. Once we get established over there, we're going to pretty quickly start to settle down. So, what all do we have? Our bed that we last slept in, the yellow one up here. is still in good shape. It's not obstructed. So when we respawn, we should be there. If we're not, um, we'll reappear at spawn, and we'll have to skedaddle back to base. Now we don't have a bed in our end chest. That's a bit of a risk, but I think for the sake of what we're bringing, best not to. And remember, hopefully, by the time we're coming back, we've got wings. Hopefully, it won't matter at all. We'll just be in our bed here in our base, and it'll be no big deal at all. But if we were to end up there, we'll make the run across. Hydrate with some caffeine here. Hopefully, my coffee will not burn my mouth. Ooh, that's still, it's kind of like perfect hot right now. Just enough that you're like, ooh, should I? Yeah, that's good. Ooh, that was some gassed XP, I think. All right, so we're on our way. We're gonna pop out in the other room, and we are going to roll into our end portal. Let's see what we've got. Oh, here we are. 1 for the money. 2 for the show. 3 to get ready. Are we ready? Are we ready? When we get in, first thing is going to be cobble. I think we're gonna want to go. So here we go, everybody. Straighten up. Oh, I take that back. We don't even need to worry about it. But let's get a little buffer wall here. Don't accept anything as meaning that you're safe down here. Well, that did kind of mitigate any need we had for so much cobble loaded into our inventory from the very start. Okay, let's just level that out here. So when we return, now we don't have torches, of course. When we return here from, just put one. When we return to the end, anytime in the future, we're gonna pop right here. So this is kind of our little starting home away from home. Now, this is the void. I've talked about it. I've kind of used it incorrectly a lot of times, kind of like when I mention, hang on, sorry, Enderman. Like when I mention chunks, or something like that. I oftentimes will say into the void and not mean the actual void. This is the actual void. Out around these little islands of endstone is nothing. And without wings to fly or a desperation pearl heave back towards the land you're falling away from, you're done. You will fall down below a certain a zero height. We are now currently at 50. See, 103, 50, 14. If you fall below 0, you will begin to take void damage. And there's the dragon's wings, so he's flying now. that is... Oh, okay, hang on. This is kind of the one way he can quickly get us. We're going to go back down. We're going to get some of this purple stuff. That is Dragon's Breath. Now, no longer need that. We want to keep this. We want to get our strength back, because now we should be clear of needing to throw a pearl. Get our bow. Okay. Towers of obsidian around here. There are a bunch of them. Each one at the top has a end crystal. And the end crystals... Oh, now I just already angered an Enderman. Endermen again are neutral, and they will fight the dragon. If the dragon, they're kind of neutral to everything, but if the dragon's breath gets on them, they will fight them too. So we want to blow these up. They will... See, he's getting health from the various iron shots. Now we can... So his health went down a little bit, but he's going to get that all back from... I realize I've made a terrible mistake. This is really not good in terms of the likelihood to look at. Get out of here. To look at the dragon. Or, I'm sorry, the Enderman. I don't know why. Okay, that's a good one. And just in time to avoid the breath. So we have two, and you can see, they all have their own challenges. Some of the pillars are really tall, and if you get really close, it's tough to get to the crystal. These have these protective cages on the crystal, but you can get to them from the corners, as I just showed. So try to clip those as you can. I think that's the one I've already done. This is where I said that having the flame on your arrows is a big benefit, because you can see where your shots are going. Ooh, that was close. And adjust so that you can don't lag. Don't just stand around in the dragon's breath. And he'll go through little phases, right? There'll be times when he's dropping a bunch of those. And there will be other times when he's more chill. He's off doing other stuff. You can get him a little bit distracted if you cause him some damage. Then he'll, kind of retreat off to repair from the towers. And occasionally we saw once he settles down on, I say he, it's a she. She lays eggs as much as she can be in Minecraft. That is her gig. How's our slow fall is non-existent. We need another one of those. And when you hear that foom, you need to be moving. there's that one. The best time that you can hit the little beams is when the dragon is charging off. Way short. If you happen to get it while he's got a beam of health coming back off of it, it will shoot damage back down. Okay, now he's kind of charging. He won't do anything. Oh. Distance attack wise. Come on. Got it. Okay, so we're getting there. And the real trick on some of this is picking your angles to look up at the towers. Let's go ahead and drink a strength now. Get 2 minutes left on our slow. So, oh no. That again. Get out of the way of his AoE effects. Area of effect attack, I should say. That's the dragon's breath. Alright, we can kind of watch him and see. Okay, so we need this tower still. Enderman, I'm telling you, man, don't mess with me. Just little adjustments here, trying to drop one right onto that. There we go. Okay, now, where's our dragon friend again? Just missed him. When he lands, he won't do any direct attacks or any ranged attacks, but you also can't hit him from range. So that's your time to run in and give him a couple chopperoos. Another slow fall. Nope. Okay, they're going to fight him, not me. Stack those. So a couple good shots. Now, he's kind of done a good job of protecting his 6 a little. Okay, that's why, that's the air attack, where he'll shoot you into the air, and having slow fall lets you kind of navigate your way back down. Should have eaten an apple instead of... And then once he's down, now he's set. Your arrows will just bounce off. To this point, she's not doing us any favors by sticking around down there. And, you know, just note that that's going to be our way home. And until we've won this fight, it's just a bedrock bedrock base of a statue. There's nothing we can do. So, okay, here we go. If you can find the hitbox, which is clearly difficult. Missed you. Missed you again. That was interesting. Clearly I didn't, for Enderman, some players are very happy to use a pump. If you make a jack-o'-lantern hat, which can carved pumpkin, something, you can put a carved pumpkin on your head and wear it, you know, headless horseman stuff. If you do that, the Enderman won't get angry if you look at them. So that can be pretty good. Hey, free pearl. But if you go that route, understand it gets tougher and tougher to see what you're doing. And I find it's just pretty easy to navigate around. As you guys can also see, he's yeah, that's unfortunate. Come on. So, pretty, you know, in terms of boss fights, pretty chill. And part of that comes from just having done it a lot of times. When you get used to something, you know, okay, that's why you want to have slow fall. That's death if you get thrown up there. I don't know why I can't get his hitbox this time. Her hitbox. We're getting there. Take our time. Game making up for some pair of misses. Oh boy. Hope that potion doesn't wear down. Oh man. Whew. Apple. That was unexpected. Again, another risk of getting thrown up so high is that you can inadvertently look at a lot of those guys as you're trying to, spot your landing. And that's what happened. There we go. We got him. So she's gonna blow up. That's gonna be our portal. That's important, and it's kind of showing the way. It's on the uphill side. We've got a whole lake of XP up here to play with. Yeah, I thought so. Let's continue to finish these out. So now for a while here, we don't have to worry at all about our slow fall anymore. There's nothing that's going to throw us up in the air. So we were at level 17. And after the fight, we are at level 68. So huge, huge benefit there. And you'll notice there's a little something on top of the pillar here. What's that, you may ask? That is a dragon's egg. If we touch this, just like our other portal, that's what will bring us back home again. They say you can't go home again. Well, you can now. So we'll make a little bridge up here, just for effect. Now, when we hit this, even with Silk Touch, it just bounces around. There's nothing you can do. We don't want just a bunch of old nasty cobble, so clean that up. So we want to bring our dragon egg home as a trophy, and this is a one-time item. You won't get... Oh, I still have slow falling on. I was like, ooh, that was weird. So we never needed the regen potion, but good to have. So now, if we kid it, we'll basically just bounce it around the whole end island here. hopefully not knocking it into the void, but you can't break it. But if you drop it onto a torch, it breaks. And if you have space for it, you pick up a dragon egg, and that's another achievement. The next generation. So we've now got a very cool trophy. We've got... All we ended up with was one bottle. I should have been playing more. I try to use my empties when he gets low, and getting thrown up and having a couple of those Endermen come down kind of distracted me. But usually when he gets real low, I do try to just bait him into firing one more of those dragon breath shots and then filling all my empty bottles that I can on there. But no problem. As you can see, we used up quite a bit more durability on our bow in that fight. So many arrows shot at the towers and then the dragon herself, and the spare arrows purely in case something goes haywire. You mix up your inventory and drop, or somehow otherwise lose your arrows. Same thing with the spare bow. When you first start fighting, you can get a little flustered, and if you do, you can accidentally hit Q when you don't mean to, and it 99 times out of 100, even if you do that, it just falls on the floor. The Endermen aren't going to pick it up. No problem, you can go back and get it. But if it was that one time that you were on the edge of the void or something, and it falls, you are at that point, you've got a massive problem in terms of fighting the Enderman. We have kind of a massive problem in that I don't clearly recall which way our little starting point was when we got in, and because I didn't have torches out, I didn't mark it. You're kind of coming up, you're scanning around to see which way. I think it's over here, though. I think. Which way the dragon's coming at you. Is he going to hit? And like he did when we were climbing up those little stairs we made, is he going to drop dragon's breath on you and try to wreck your day? So, very first job here is it's very odd that I'm not getting like a good flow of bounces. So this is just a marker just to tell us you can't see your little home, but it's down here. Go this way. And this is kind of nice actually because we can quarry a lot of endstone out of the base right here. After all the talk and prep, this is so convenient. We may wrap, but I want to at least kind of get next phase set up, construction. So this is our first portal, and I said you can fight the dragon multiple times. Give me 1 second here. Before we go into that phase, we just want to kind of settle in. I wanted to check the time. We're under an hour. Not hugely under an hour, but we are under an hour on this episode. So pretty good time. Got back from the nether, geared up, and ready to go. All of which is nice. But these portals will generate each time you kill the dragon. And you can... It's like 21 or 27 total portals. I don't know. I've never made it an effort to kill all the dragons. I'd like to, and kind of get. They will, ring eventually all the way around your thing. I've done, like half dozen or so at times in various playthroughs. We are. I don't know if it's the keyboard or the game or what. Some of my movements are really impacted. Like lateral back and forth. I don't know. So this would certainly appear to be out in the middle of nowhere. It may be over a shelf, but that's just a possibility, really. And this is pretty typical. Come on, get out of my way. So I think we're centered maybe here. And we want to build up a... And this has to be done so carefully. You guys will potentially appreciate as we go. It's much nicer to be able to build from below and look up because the Endermen will have that curiosity. Oh, hey, what's going on over here? This is, we've never seen a person before, much less somebody putting up a bunch of blocks. What are you doing? And they'll go stand as teasingly close to your line of sight as they can get. And then they will potential be in a position where you can potentially look at them. And we don't want to do that. Now we're clear enough that we can kind of wrap around this edge and still be looking at the void the whole time, so no Enderman, no risk. Now they'll come up in here and they can teleport just like anywhere else, so they'll be around. We want to make this as secure as possible, and that's partly why I'm doing a 3-wide staircase and why I brought so much cobble. I don't want to skimp on safety in this particular little patch together build. I mean, you can tower up, you can single bridge across. Just know one inadvertent glance at an Enderman, and we can, we handled several Endermen at a time pretty handily, even in the midst of the dragon fight. That piece isn't too much of a concern anymore. What's now a concern is that those Endermen can knock you off of perches, wherever you may have set up as a place to operate. And again, now we're looking back at the island, not the best way to go, but I do want to try to define our area. So, and I'm just making 3, 4, I'm just making a platform enough to have a little space around this area. Oh, that was scary. What? Why am I popping out of crouch? We're not gonna go through until we go back and relaunch this game. I don't know if this is like battery on my keyboard or what, but I'm not going to risk losing the world just when things are acting wonky. If it could be on my end, something that I can possibly prevent. So I'll risk bouncing a few extra batteries at the keyboard if I think that makes a difference. Like I said, I don't use any overly fancy keyboard. It's just a battery-powered wireless. So now here we want a safety rail, and these, I've often said there's a particular vision I have for making the Dragon Island in the end into a particular build, and I'm sure it's occurred to others. I don't think I've seen it done, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been. Where you end up linking all of the various portals. But we haven't gotten there yet. So we're going to currently finish out this just with some safety rails. Just enough so we can't fall through if an Enderman sees us, as we're coming over here from our spawn. We got to cross the island to get to it each time. If we looked at one, he didn't immediately teleport to us and then eventually came back and gave us a smack. We don't want that smack to push us off the edge. If it bumps us into a rail, oh, what? We got a, kind of startled reaction, and then take them out. Now we feel a little bit safer because we can always huddle up on this side, get get ourselves sorted out that way. Again, just taking a little bit of time before we go too crazy to and occasionally they'll send up those pulses, which is going to be really good once we go through, and you guys will see why. Um, these little smaller portals in the end, um, they actually don't send us through dimensions. They send us a long distance within this dimension. But those are physically accessible. You can build bridges in this world and actually travel anywhere that the portals might send you, which is kind of nice. Now we can bring back some stairs in here every eventually, kind of clean this up, but we'll first see if it's even somewhere that we think we're going to want to go back and forth to a lot. Not that any of them are particularly revisitable. Kind of once you've been to an area, you gathered up the resources, and you've been through it, yeah, we may, depending on what we find, we may leave a city largely intact for accessible shulkers, just so that we have some. But now we've got a little setup for our friendly Enderman. Next mission up before we go back. And you guys may think, oh man, now we got to get some obsidian. Well, yeah, we do, but that's not all we're doing here. But this is pretty significant in terms of a tower. So I'm going to drink some coffee here as we kind of carve out. We're going to leave these three outer pieces on each edge. So I'm going to mute you guys for a bit, and I'll be back intermittently as we go, but I'm going to drink some coffee as we're setting up here. So give me just a second to hit the mute. All right, done with the OBS mute. I think I may just play around a little bit with the headset mute to see if that's really if I can more accurately manage using it. I never try, and it's likely to. I don't really trust it. Let's just put it that way. And coming from a history of video and audio conferencing well before the pandemic, before that was an everyday deal, I listened to so many people embarrass themselves so badly thinking that they had a mute on. And it's a meme for a reason. And like I've said early on, kids kids will learn the hard way quicker. They'll adapt to that technology, but they won't necessarily think what could be the consequences if these things go wrong. So you hear more, let's say blown noses in a video school settings. Okay, somebody's mad. Sorry. You're kind of ruining the intent here, dude. If you could just chill out. Now you're coming? Oh, man. At least we're in a safe space. That's what's really important. That our feelings are okay. So a little bit of a pain here, if you get to the point that you're really using up a lot of obsidian, you can be taking down full towers of these, and this is why obsidian is a very renewable resource. With gas tiers, the same as we just used for the potion, you can recreate the crystals that were on top of the pillars, and if you put 4 of them around the return portal, they will respawn the dragon. That's what we've been talking about. So you'll never get another egg, but prior to respawning it, you can fully mine each one of these towers all the way down. The crystals actually sit on a nub of bedrock at the top of each one, and so you can't break bedrock, so it will always be there. But you can mine every single block of obsidian outside of those before you respawn the dragon if you want. Then when you actually respawn it, there will kind of be a beam of light up out of the combined crystals. It will spread to all of the other towers, and each of those crystals will kind of pulse. The towers will regenerate just as they are, and the healing beacons will reestablish for the dragon. Then new dragon pops up. You can do the same fight we just did over again. It's kind of nice and fun. You'll continue to get good experience, and you can, regather lots of the dragon's breath if you want to. At that point you can come with a full stack of bottles and just load up on all the breath that you want if you want to make. And what that does, the reason for that particular item is that you can make your own area of effect potions at that point. So you could make a instant health potion, make it splashable, and make it lots of strength. So use the glowstone dust as opposed to the redstone dust. So you make it a health 2 potion. So lots of instant effect. And then if you add dragon's breath, it will make one of those little clouds, like the purple ones that we were dealing with when we were fighting the dragon. And if you throw that into a horde of zombies coming down, they're all going to take health damage, because again, they're undead, so healing for them is like poison for you, and so they'll all just take a big shot and basically make a real kind of, it's not blasting damage, that's not what I'm saying, but in shooter FPS type games, a grenade is an AoE weapon. It will clear out an area, because in real life, an explosive with a cloud of fragments coming out of it will clear hostile enemies in that area of its effect. Whatever. I don't know anything about grenades. I've never seen one detonate in real life. I've seen a lot of movies, right? But 10, 12 meters. I don't know what their effective range is, but it's not like a bullet. It will spread deadly fragments in an area, and injure those who are unfortunate enough to be in its path. So what are we doing, and how is it coming along? Slowly, obviously, but we're down to just the middle. We've kind of clearly identified out all of these central posts, and we've got these corners that we can peek out of. We kind of already showed what those are going to be used for with our overeager volunteers, but this is what I like to call my my kind of improvised Enderman farm. And I think for the effort put in, we've talked before, there's no better efficiency than just raining a bunch of Endermen right to your feet, and just, endless stream of full max entities Endermen to fight. That works pretty well. But it takes a long time, and there's a lot of risk involved in creating that. What we're going to do here is, at a convenient location, make a safe place where we can draw the aggro of all the Endermen around, pull them to us, and, effectively we're putting ourselves in the kill room of a dark room spawner, but we're making it our safe room, and we're just gonna kill everybody from the inside out. Think a little bit like the diving to see sharks in the shark cages, right? The diver goes in the middle of potentially dangerous fish, and remains in safety, can photograph or just observe or feed or whatever without being at risk of being bitten by the sharks. So that's effectively what we're going to recreate here. Our next challenge for the efficiency of it is we want to level out this hill. And long term, we probably want to put one over on the kind of the diagonal opposite end of the island too. We don't need that initially, but that will help our spawn if we can bounce between two different ones. We can then kind of clear one end of the island, loop over to the other, and clear any that we haven't already dealt with, and that will help the original side spawn back up more quickly, refill with more Endermen. So it's a kind of teeter-totter effect. And between this and the convenience, it takes no time at all to bounce between our nether portal to get to this end. Now, just farming for the sake of XP will kind of become an old idea. We can probably more quickly repair tools and things. Again, we've got so much stored XP from the nether quartz. That's one way to deal with it, but this will become another way to just quickly repair what tools we have. Not quite as efficient as setting up a full farm, but for the time we're spending right now to have it fully ready to go, it's not a bad way. I don't think we ever pulled. We're kind of wasting blocks a little bit. Let's just demo. Oh yeah, I guess we can. Can we switch these? I don't know if we can hold. Yeah, I guess we can. All right, why not do that? Just gather up these few more, because they're a little bit slower block to farm. I'd rather not just completely waste them. How close are we? We'll fill our inventory here just by pushing back. 'Cause really all we're trying to do is clear our sight line from there to see the most possible Enderman from that spot. Having, obviously, a hill above us limits our visibility. Okay, so we're full up. All right, come back over. We can put just a few torches inside to help us kind of see and make it show up better. But yeah, now once we've had more visits and can lower that down, we'll bring some chests over where we can store pearls and all that. We will be well set. But now we're gonna just begin the process of looking as one thing. You can hold an Enderman. See how those few are all stuck? If you keep maintaining a single Enderman stare, it will. And again, the hill height is going to be a little bit of a challenge here. I use these big pillars because it's nice to keep them behind you. And then look in a different direction. If they're all standing in front of you, it's tough to get a clear line of sight and bring more in. So you want them to move around to the opposite end. And we'll try to get a big old pack here. All right, one more thing let's do some music and sounds because this could get a little bit loud. Hostile creatures. We'll drop that down quite a bit here for the moment. Done with that. Let's go to statistics, mobs. Just want to give a look. We've killed 30 Endermen so far to this point in the game. Keep that number in mind here. I'm going to take a sip of coffee while we process that. Okay, 30 so far. Remember when I talked about how I was going to use the little mute button? Okay, so now they'll come try to get me. Oh, and before we fully switch up, this is the point. And we don't have any room, but we've already topped off 2 Ender Pearl stacks. We've got a whole bunch more there. And now, let's go back and compare. We have now killed 64 Endermen. So 34 right in that little bit. Our pick is fully restored in one little load of those. We could do that multiple times. We will eventually set up another chests where we can dump in additional pearls, but we're going to have so many pearls that will not long be an issue. I think eventually we'll probably see how this one only has 1 in, so it's a smaller base tower. Any of these with the extra angles are wider and give you that kind of extra foot room around. But we'll want to come over here and we'll maybe build up a base a little bit so we're looking down and can catch Endermen scattered all around here. Because it will take just a moment for them to respawn on the island. And if you have the 2 sides, you can more efficiently bounce back and forth between those 2. That's the only purpose there. I don't know why we came all the way back over here. That's not what we want to do. We want to get on our way home, and we haven't done it yet. So this is the last last deal, we're going to pitch our way into the portal. Oh, one more thing. Let's load that up one more time, because I want to show you guys, now that this is the first time we've really been high level. Let's look at our XP generation or accrual from some of these kills. See how far they are, and this is why you really need two to make this work effectively. You want to be able to clear the ones that are on opposite edges quickly, and here we just kind of have to work our way around, and they will pack spawn back in, so it's not impossible, but just a little bit of a game to get them all coming at you. So it's not flawless. I'm not meaning to imply that we have a superior system here, but for the effort it takes to get it going, no material is spent. We actually get some obsidian as we're working on it, and can run from there. But yeah, I mean, you see how little, after killing all those Endermen, we only got just a couple little tabs on our XP bar down at the bottom there. So with a mighty leap to celebrate our 69 levels, that's the highest we've been. Obviously, our score is now better than all the others. We will run. These are the end credits. They are forever long. It's like an hour. Maybe not quite that much. It's probably like 15 to 20 minutes to run the whole thing. And it's this weird little story. It's like a two-sided, kind of like a Greek tragedy dialogue. It goes and goes and goes. I thought we'd last slept in the yellow bed, but we came to the white bed. Whatever. I'm down with that. So we made it back home. We didn't need the bed. All is well. And smell that real world air. What's up, S'more? We made it back. We've killed a dragon. No, couple things that we need to do. Let's put this cobble away to get a little wiggle room. Get one. Okay. That'll be 10, so that'll be enough so we can actually put the sticks in. Just making a frame here. Let's take this upstairs. Kind of right up here, maybe. Place of pride. For our dragon egg. Not particularly cool. We'll get some other cool trophies along the way, but that one is pretty cool. Having it as a memento, because it is otherwise unobtainable. Not what I wanted to do. Alright, so we don't need quite the levels of torches, any of that now that we're through the fight. We'll still need all those extra type supplies, but we can go put a lot of the potion stuff away to reclaim our inventory. So we don't need more strength. We'll keep us slow falling, but we don't need the regen, and we'll put it in here with our eventual fire, and our water breathing potions, just to keep it separate. It's so close in color to the strength and the slow falling that might as well. We'll store off these bottles. Again, we don't need those. And this actually will sit as an ingredient. If we want to apply that to other potions, we can. Okay, we've got an obsidian box over here. And, I mean, 2.5 stacks of obsidian, not bad. And we need to make a section for end materials. Just like the netherite, we'll make a big old area that we can use for end stone. It's for that dimension, it is the block. There's some other more finished building products that we'll get into, and those can each. But we've got lots of room for these dimensions, and we may end up with quite a bit of that, both in brick and other forms. Had we made I think we made a pearl section. So we'll put a few pearls away. We are now done ever worrying about whether we have enough ender pearls, as you guys saw. Eat regular food. We can now, well, we really need to swap those. So next mission is go and explore in the end a little bit, and I think we'll likely get that going here. I know I've been messing with the sound and all that. I think we'll probably go back over. Let's bring a double chest to set up our first little ender killing spot. I don't think I need anything in there. It's more looking at here. How much cobble do we think we would need? We'll use it. The question is just more, do we want to load up with any extra beyond what we already have? Knowing that we can just gather up end stone while we're there. Since we're carrying 2 chests, might as well carry a third and set that up. Since we're carrying 5 stacks of torches, may as well carry a 6th. Since we're carrying 61 stakes, we may as well carry a full 64. Alright, this is all the loadout we need to return. I'm tempted, but I think we're going to use up more of our bow before we apply another full clean one to heal it back up. It's night out, so let's just go ahead and sleep. And as you can see, racked up a number of different advancements. We'll go back through those. Once we get over, maybe in our little ender fighting fortress, we'll take a look at those. And we're close enough to the end of the episode that I don't think we'll really venture through the end portal into the unknowns beyond. We'll just get there, get ready, and wrap up at that point, knowing we've done so much today. Beat a dragon, guys. Woo! Awesome. So in our next episode, that's where we're gonna hope to go through. Oh man, between the bastion and all the loading, we've now got three realms. We are either struggling from the keyboard or the game itself. Perhaps a bit of both. Okay, here we go. And right on through. Here's our safe little room down the bottom. Now that we don't have a dragon immediately breathing its breath on us. Much more secure over here. All these Endermen are kind of our problem now. And I think this will have to be our opposite portal. And we'll use Endstone to kind of raise up a base so that we're up higher than the average and can look down on everything. Let them come up to us. Alright, here we go. So right in the middle, maybe? Or should we do it on the side? Maybe over here. And we may want to kind of push these edges so that they more draw themselves into the narrow corners. I don't know, it's a little more advanced than I've ever bothered to think about it before. Well, we're now going to be in the too many pearls business. All right, this instantly becomes just a piece of luggage until a little bit later. Yeah, I don't know that we really need to kill more right at the moment. Let's take a look at our advancements here. As I said, we are now in the end, so we've got a whole new tab, and we've already done quite a few of the visible ones here. So the end or the beginning as we go through. We need to free the end. Once we emerge, that's the one you gotta fight the dragon. You have to hold the dragon egg. That's where you have to actually break it with the torch, or there's pistons as well. Some piston-y method. The torch is the way I've always used. And we got the dragon's egg, or the dragon's breath. So we achieved that one. We'll need to respawn the dragon again. And again, we can do it as many times as we want. This is what we're looking for next. We're going to go up to the portal platform that we just made and jump off. And it kind of gives you a hint here with the pearl what you need to do there. You basically need to be in the swimming position to get through. It's only one block high, but you can also use the portals to do that. And then you need to discover a city, which is what we're going to be looking for. And again, not a big spoiler alert, but that's what we're looking for our elytra and the shulkers to gather up and kind of advance our equipment to the next stage. So we're very very ready. I mean, we're feeling proud and strong, having accomplished what we have. We've got our little setup ready to go to safely transport us over. When we pop out on the other end, that's another matter. Getting to the ground and hoping that we're not floating there can be a little bit disconcerting. So we'll see what it does to us. And yeah, we'll have to do a quick little build over on that side to get safely to the ground. How much time do we have? Maybe that's... Yeah, we're only at an hour and a half. Just over an hour and a half. Let's do... Before we really get sucked into long wandering and all that, let's go through. We'll kind of cliffhanger ourselves. See what... maybe we'll see cities right there. I don't know. So, like you can see, there's no way to enter this spot unless you And again, it's not my knack. There's trick to getting down and doing kind of um, the one block high mining where you crawl through and mine and do your tunnels that way. Um, I think you can do it without pistons, but I don't know how, and I don't really care because what I do is just portal in, try to portal through the gateway. Okay, so that's what we came through, and we can use that to get back again. To do so, we need to get up to it, right? And again, same principles apply. We are now out in the End Islands. I don't know. It's just the end. It's all one big biome out here. Um, so not a lot of help when it comes to it from there. This is a bit of a potch on how far you need to be from it and which way we should approach from, but I think kind of here, and we'll be off to a side, and then here we go. So same stairway here since we're not out over the void. You don't have to bother with all the safety railings and all those kind of things. I'm not looking to to make more cobbly builds around than I have to, or add particular um, complexity to them. And we will just kind of for appearances put up a railing around and maybe step this in just a bit. And by the time we've done a few of these, we may be maybe pretty good and unconcerned about the rest. Those are 3 out, but we stepped in here. Maybe like that and that. Is that what we did? Yeah. I think that's pretty good. Just slightly different than a straight box in the air, but not by much. And we were here. Not there. Well, unfortunately, no. No obvious city, but we'll take a peek. We'll kind of bump up our visual render distance. See if that shows us anything as we prepare a bit to get going. See if we can get a teaser glimpse from me and you before we wrap up. we go. Like that. Match those. And then there we go. Now, remember with your FOV, you can kind of curve about, and this may be headed back. You can kind of okay, so yeah, back that way about 600 blocks and 800 would be our island. You can make a bridge all the way out there and see what all's there, just not use the portals, not fool with them. And then these will make a ring, and as far as I know, they go more or less infinite. I think it's bounded as well. I don't know what those bounds are, though. You can just keep going. But at least here, because we're going to shut down pretty quickly anyway. Let's take our video settings, and you can adjust your render distance. You can determine how far you want to look. It goes up to a full 32 chunks. Beware that that will potentially, you can see you're loading more into the distance as we move our view around now. So you can see kind of we're on the brink of a large area of void, and that's about 32 chunks. This will render slowly out into the, I won't stand on the edge, because when you do these looks around, you can also potentially look at an Enderman far away. Next thing you know, he's popping up next to you. So you can see that they will kind of spread out in arms, and there will be this large kind of lake of void with one island in the center, and then all of these are, sometimes closely connected, sometimes not, spreading out in the area. So we've got a way to get back home again. We've got a bow here, and let's just get a couple of different items while we're standing here. Now, I don't know what the flame does here. Where the actual... Oh yeah, we're so laggy, by the way, now. Oh, they're just going to sit up on top of the... If some of you guys would fall, that would be cool. Why don't you get up in my face, bud? It's like the, person at the bar picking a fight. So if we break that, we can get our own arrows landing on our head, which is always fun. So we got two different items out of breaking that tree. We got some chorus fruit. That's a food, and we can actually cook it as well. And then we got some chorus flowers that had been actually stuck up on the tree. Those were what I was shooting with my bow. If we just come to this tree, you can see there's one that I broke, and then there's some more up high, right? If we chop it, we'll get a number of the fruit, but we only get the one more flower. You have to break those individually. If you just chop the tree, you can't grow more. But we can actually use those as saplings and grow back at the base. And I'm just kind of exploratorily walking around at the moment. Let me check the time one more time. 1:45. So we're gonna wrap up pretty quickly, but I'm just trying to, while it's safe and I'm not really doing anything, I want to see how the laptop holds with OBS, the recording running, and the longer resolution. Um, it's more the confines of Java than system resources. And as expected, with all the good luck that we've had in the Nether, we're not just getting immediate good luck from our starting point here. I don't want to, because I still don't trust my keyboard and the edge of the void, I don't want to just go start hugging with control on the edge. I don't want to risk falling in. But you can see we're kind of on one of many sort of interconnected islands, and we need to bridge between these and to do more exploration, and at some point it would be kind of a cool way to wrap up to get a glimpse of one. But so far, even in the distance, I don't see a particular target destination, so we'll just have to pick. I speak again. There we go. Let's get a little closer. So this will be our first target. Oh, and look, it's got what we need. I'm not gonna reveal too much, but why that just popped now, not while we were standing up on top, I don't know, but they. All right, game. Well, thank you. So we have 2 cities potentially out into the distance, but we now know which way we're going to go. We may bridge off of that little point, get over to that island. We may have to hop several times to get all the way over to it, but that will be our direction of travel. We want to get there. Those are the cities. They kind of grow upwards and have a bunch of different rooms and chambers and things that we can go exploring in. As you can see, that other one has a couple towers and bridges out to other rooms, and lots of different stuff to play around on. And by the time, if those are 32 chunks away, possibly, those can be quite tall. By the time you get over to them, look at the trees around the bottoms. They look pretty low relatively, and then you look at these trees and you go, oh yeah, they're 20 some blocks tall. So cool little structures to play in. The reason why I bring so many torches on these adventures is once you're out in the air, man, it's sticky around these portals. Once you're out in this area, the only ways to get back are to use one of these portals that you've arrived at to return. Now you can discover other ones out there, and they actually are the other portals that you'll eventually link to. But there may be a way to kind of map where they would appear. I don't know what it is, if there is. You just need to kind of go exploring, but being able to get back to one is important. If you get outside the range of those, you're not going to find more spawning. You could go for ages without getting back. So this will take us back to our spawn area, and it always kind of teases you, putting you about as far away as you can be from safety. It's always nice. I mean, hey, yeah, why don't I just drop you on the edge where you could fall into the void? So don't idly push directional keys as you're coming back. But that's kind of our first teaser tour of the end. We beat a dragon. Oh, that's what we should be doing. How much time? Well, let's just end. I'm not going to just do side projects for the sake of side projects. Um, so there we are, back at the last build that we touched. We'll maybe ages until we're actually hungry enough to. Oh, don't jump off the stairs. As a kid, were you one of the stair jumpers? I was totally. We lived in a split level style home, so it was kind of one of those. As I've said, that the yard was sloped up from a street that was on a hill anyway, and so kind of the first visible level of the house was the garage, basically the garage, and the bedroom sat up above the garage, and then off to the side from those, a half flight offset, was kind of the main living area of the house with the kitchen and the dining room and the living room. And then behind the garage, the half flight down was a den, and that was under my parents' bedroom. And all my sister's, mine, and my parents' bedrooms were all up above the garage and the den. And then we had like a basement that my dad eventually finished. Before I was really aware of anything that was going on. For me, it was always a finished basement, but he had done the drywalling and stuff before that, so it it was a pretty cool deal. But moving as a kid, as a little kid, right? Like I'm talking, I don't know, under 10 probably. Most of those years, I don't know. Pretty young. Two of just the favorite stupid things that kids do. One was on these flights of, I don't know, 6, 8 stairs, whatever they were between the various split levels. Put it, and we only had a railing on one side of the stairs, but whether you held onto the railing or not, you just like climb up more and more stairs as you got older and jump off, right? Like jump to the ground below. And I think we can all kind of relate to that, at some level, taking stairs two at a time, that kind of stuff, up and down and all that. But certainly as a little kid, that was something. And our entry to the house on the main living floor, where the front door didn't go through the garage, right? It went through the house. So that was a bit of a deal. We'll take this one because, again, all that's going to be designated for endstone. We'll make one spot here. And we're going to mark with one. We're going to, if I can, store one. I take 2 upstairs. We'll do 2 last things here with these guys if we can. Oh, I don't have any endstone on me. I think I need that to actually plant our chorus flower, but we can store it upstairs here. It will be visible. So we got hungry enough. We can eat a chorus fruit. And as you see, it will give you a random teleport in the area. Pretty safe place to do it. It just popped us up the... Oh, did I think I did that backwards. So I think I needed 2 of the chorus fruit. Not the... Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Okay, so we'll save those. We will... I just like to get it done. I'm sorry, this is... So I'm going to jump down the stairs again, and this is... taking the damage is what reminded me of the little story from my childhood. As a kid, you'd like launch yourself off these stairs, and, kids don't think about, well, first of all, trying to land like halfway down a flight of stairs is a dumb idea, and second, the main entry of my house was tiled floor as opposed to carpeted, or even that little amount of extra cushioning. And yeah, there were likely a few concussions. I definitely knocked my head. I think there were a few bumped teeth and cuts and whatnot from just jumping off the stairs and then not landing them as a little fumbling around kid, and being left to pay the price. So, kids, don't jump off your stairs. The other thing that made me think of is it's it's at least it was fun for me. I don't know why, but there was an age when I was a little kid where you have this idea of like Superman and superheroes flying with the arms outstretched and just kind of, laying prone, flying through the air. And as kind of become used to diving into pools and all that kind of stuff, this was before I was diving well, but I always, from the youngest ages, I loved jumping into water well before I could dive. I was a kid. My parents more, but I do vaguely remember these lessons because once upon a time, as I was first being introduced to swimming, I remember having an accident in my swim trunks. Embarrassing true story. And it was my mom related to me that it was when I was in like a mommy and me toddler swimming lessons class, just a paddle in the water, feel safe, and all that kind of stuff. I thought I could eat this. I thought I had to eat this. Why can I not eat popped chorus fruit? To be determined later. So let me wrap up the story. Anyway, mommy and me swim class, introduction to the water stuff, and I don't remember this part as much as I remember the embarrassment of having wet my swimsuit before we actually got in the water. But on one of those other things, and I don't know how many there were. I don't know if it was like a one-time deal because my mom was so mortified, but they're doing this whole like toddlers, and this is before water wings and all that were common deal. I don't know if they gave us little like cork life preserver type things or anything like that. They had like ski vests and stuff like that at that time, but they didn't have the inflatable water wings that I recall at all. By the time I was a little bit older kid, I was certainly aware of them, so maybe they did all along, but they had all these toddlers, and all the kids scared of the water, like, ooh, I don't know if I want to get in. And as the teacher is talking to the moms, and kind of, all right, this is how we're gonna do it. Apparently, I just straight up in. Nobody's in the water yet, and I'm like, let's go. And 2 steps to the edge and jumped in. I never, apparently at that point had never swam, never really dealt with the water. But my mom said, yeah, you from the very start, no fear, and I wasn't even freaked out. I kind of got in and was under the water, didn't come up screaming or anything like that. I was just like, hey, yeah, this is where I want to be, under the water. So I've always kind of loved the diving board and weightlessness. It's again kind of probably why I like alpine skiing so much, and being able to hit jumps and catch a little air through the moguls, or off if you're kind of going flat out down a smoother slope and you have some drop offs where you kind of can just pop off the ledges. I'm a little old to be doing a lot of tricks and stuff, but I still like that weightless feeling of flying, where your momentum is outpacing gravity's ability to hold you to the ground. So anyway, as a little kid, I would for a while, as I was excited, I would do this whole fly into bed thing, where from like 2 feet away, probably foot and a half, whatever. I'm a white kid, a little white kid, so no real hops, I'm sure, but I would do this, lay my arms out, and instead of climbing into bed, I would fly. I would imagine most parents are like, yeah, all kids go through this, but I remember a couple nights that that just ended in tears. Where one, I left it, oh yeah, I can really do this, and like tried to probably launch from like the door of my bedroom instead of at the edge of the bed, and totally came up short and like impacted my arm and head into the side of my mattress instead of on it. And then probably as an overcorrection, none of this is super clear, but I remember doing one where I launched too far and was on top of the mattress, but totally either through or over or whatever pillows there were, like totally just bonked my head into the headboard in the wall behind my bed. So yeah, dangerous getting into bed for a little kid. Anyway, those are the highlight stories. This has been amazing. We've beaten the dragon. We've established our path to the end. We know we've got end cities in sight that we'll have to get to. Has an ending. They know. They're watching what we do. We found it, and I apologize if anybody was really hoping for the credits. I guess you'll just have to play your own game and be able to watch those all the way through. For me, I've watched through them probably twice, and that's seriously as much as I can handle. It's just long and rambling, but it will elude. And I think there's been some. Well, obviously, there's been some. The Microsoft now owns them, so they get control of what's in the credits and all that kind of stuff. And I think that aside from like created by, there hasn't been. There isn't as much mention of Notch anymore, but it's worth seeing. You can probably go find it online if you want to see what's in the Minecraft credits. Check them out online. You can probably read it faster than just waiting for it to all scroll by. It is what it is. But we got there. We got the egg. We beat the dragon. We've set up an XP good enough farm, and we'll double that up here at some point in the near future. But next mission will be to go get some, hopefully some wings. Looks like we got a very good shot of that, and some shulker boxes. So join us next time. Take care of yourself until then. I'm going to have a day of a break at this point. I may be back online this evening. I don't know. It'll kind of depend what the weather does and how the rest of the day plays out. But I'm going to go be social, get a little bit of the sunshine that's left. It's nice and mild today, and then is going to quickly change over. We get a good chance of storms this afternoon and evening, and then we're into cold, dropping temps and kind of off and on rain and snow through most of the beginning of the week. So I'm going to enjoy it while I can. You guys do the same, whatever your weather may be. Remember, night or day, get up between videos, stick your head outside, see what's out there, and we'll be here when you get back. So take care of yourselves, others if you can, and remember, you're awesome for having tuned in. We'll see you next time. Bye now.